Judgment questions. Why is your judgment better than...
And that was before the war started. Sean Hannity said very strongly to me and other people, he's willing to say, but nobody wants to call him, I was against the war. He said, you used to have fights with me because Sean was in favor of the war. And I understand that side also, not very much, because we should have never been there. You know, I have a much better. She spent, let me tell you, she spent hundreds of millions of dollars on...
We need to move on.
Wait, but it's very important. All I said was they may have to defend themselves or they have to help us out. We're a country that owes 20. Didn't they make the right deal? This is one of the worst deals ever made by any country in history. Billions and billions of dollars. We cannot be the policeman of the world.
This month you said she doesn't have, quote, a presidential look. She's standing here right now. What did you mean by that?
She doesn't have the look. She doesn't.
Hello, motherfucker.
You know what, Mr. Lawler? I've heard all these things you've been saying about me on television. You want to wrestle me? You want to wrestle me, man, for style? All right, fine. I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Lawler, because let me tell you something. True, I only wrestle women, but I've wrestled women that are a lot bigger and stronger than you.
It is difficult to draw the lines between personal privacy, family privacy. But I think as a society, we've had more than enough examples.
Whether they're living in rural Iowa or inner city New York or anywhere else. It was really silly. I'm glad nobody was around.
The road to being somebody in this society starts with
Monica Lewinsky.
I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette.
I am so grateful to him for a lifetime of...
You're not looking at me. Are you a narcissistic Looney Tune?
I am not. Get up. I knew you would. I knew you'd have to. I mean, you have every right to ask, and I have every right to tell you how I feel.
Really?
You know, they've just been minding their own business and they got hit by a meteor. You know,
I'm not going to comment on what I did or did not say back in the late 90s.
And every time she called distraught saying her life was going to be ruined.
But how are you different? It's really another one of my blessings. All kinds of experiences. Really, yeah. I mean, I think that's only natural. You know, he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. And if he decides to run, he'll be fair game too for everybody. I have moved on, and that's how I see, you know, my life and my future.
It's not an image question so much as a priority question.
And when I started this campaign, I'm not sure I knew quite what to expect. Lifting up our children with better education. Education. I hope you'll give me that chance.
You know, I happen to think that it is just totally off base. It's, you know, so far out, it's hard to even understand and take seriously.
Somebody said,
questions come up, and we'll just keep doing our best to answer them, and hopefully it'll end at some point. But what people are talking to me about is not that. I got to tell you.
Who else was at your home? Were you alone?
I was alone, yes.
The whole night?
Well, yes, the whole night.
Well, I don't know why that's funny. I mean, did you have any in-person briefings? I don't find it funny at all.
Smoke weed every day. 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 Smoke weed every day.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
I know a way that would absolutely give us guaranteed victory. It's an idea that, in my opinion, is foolproof. Talking about something that would be unbelievable as an idea.
On ISIS, nobody would be tougher than Donald Trump. Nobody. I would bomb the shit out of him. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. I would hit them so hard and so fast that they wouldn't know what happened. I would just bomb those suckers And that's right. I'd blow up the pipes. I'd blow up the I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. And I'd take the oil. And I said, I'll take the oil. I'd then get Exxon, or I'd get, I'd bid it out. I'd bid it out. You get this one, you get this one, you get this one. And it would be brand new, beautiful, and I'd ring it. The soldiers wouldn't be in danger. I'd ring it. I want to protect it. And we'll take the oil forever. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. I said to my wife, I said, I got to tell them about this plan. I'm going to have no choice. Because otherwise I'm not going to win. People are thinking like I don't have a plan. Immediately after taking office, I will ask my generals to present to me a plan within 30 days to defeat and destroy ISIS. Believe me, 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 believe me.
Help us understand who Donald Trump is as a man. I need to know that you will make us feel safe and you will make us feel proud.
I think I have a bigger heart than all of them. I think I'm much more competent than all of them. When you talk about George Bush, I mean, say what you want. The World Trade Center came down during his time. If you look
Hold
at
on,
Sandy Hook,
you can't blame George Bush for that.
He was president, okay? Don't blame him or don't blame him, but he was president. The World Trade Center came down during his reign.
And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. Last week I read 2,300 Humvees. These are big vehicles were left behind for the enemy. 2,000, you would say maybe two?
We start working to beat this guy right now.
2,300. Down, you weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called. Go back to Univision. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Down through the chimney with lots of toys. All for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go?
Sit down, please. You weren't called.
Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with boots and
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, that's Jorge Ramos
Hi,
of
Jim,
Univision.
yes.
He's being escorted out of the room. He was asking a question that Donald Trump said he didn't call him. That's why he is being removed. Jorge Ramos refused to back down.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know really much about him. I don't believe I've ever met him, except he started screaming, and I didn't escort him out. You'll have to talk to security, whoever security is escorted him out. But certainly he was not chosen. I chose you. I chose other people to answer me where you're asking me questions. He just stands up and starts screaming. So maybe he's at fault also. But I don't consider that. I mean, somebody walking out, I don't even know where he is. I don't mind if he comes back, frankly. Because he was out of order. I would take his question in 2 seconds, but he stood up and started screaming. I told you already, if you wanted to come back in, I'd love to have him come, but you can't just stand up and scream. I was saying to somebody else, too, is that correct? I was saying, yes, and this guy stands up and starts screaming. He's obviously a very emotional person, okay? So I have no problem with it. I don't know him. I have no idea, but I would certainly love to have questions from him.
And just look how happy he is.
قصة طويلة الزعيم انت القاضي حفلة كبيرة في ودية قصة طويلة الزعيم انت القاضي شنبه قد الوضية. الدين قصة طويلة الزعيم انت القاضي حفلة كبيرة في ودية. الدين قصة طويلة الزعيم انت القاضي شنبه